Hey everybody, G4 Video 5 here, and welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the definitive edition. In this part, we will be completing the mission Death Row for Kent Paul.
Alright, Mus, I'm gonna save your Vera, mate.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know that wanker Diaz, the bugle meister? He's got your boy lugs. Word is your mate tried to jump him, didn't jump high enough, if you know what I mean.
Where did he take him?
Alright,
In plain English.
Keep your party on. They got him across town to the junkyard. Bloody hell, you nutter!
Nutter? But I hardly know her. But old Lance there is gotten into some trouble with a failed assassination attempt on Ricardo Diaz, and so now Diaz's men are holding him captive in a junkyard in Vice City West, and so we need to get there as quickly as possible to rescue him, because as you can see in the top right corner of the screen, Lance has a health meter that is slowly but surely dwindling down as time passes, and so we're currently hauling ass using a PCJ that we will be ditching and swapping out for a helicopter, because there's a couple things we have to think about during this mission. First off, obviously you have to deal with Lance's health going down, but you also have to worry about infiltrating the junkyard that Lance is being held at. And then you also have to think about escaping the junkyard and then evading Diaz's men who will be chasing after us. And so the helicopter helps trivialize a lot of different components of this mission, and so it's highly suggested that you use a helicopter. Now, speaking of the helicopter, I have a couple things to point out about this thing. First off, as you can see here, we have some physics-defying moments. Or at least I would imagine they are, because we're literally flying sideways when making sharp movements. And I would imagine that the reason why this is sometimes a thing is because all of the movement controls for the helicopter are tied to the left analog stick. And so if you want to tilt the nose of the helicopter up, down, or move left or right, you do all of that with one single thing, the left analog stick, and it creates some really awkward situations with movement, so I would imagine the reason for this is because they've simplified, in quotation marks, the controls for the mobile ports of this game, which makes sense because you don't typically use controllers with mobile games, and the definitive edition is more or less a console-fied port of the mobile ports, and so you end up having these awkward scenarios play out. But anyway, we've managed to land, and now we're clearing a path for ourselves to get to Lance, who seems to be all covered in jelly.
There goes my careful planning blown to shit. Thanks to you. You screwed up real good, Lance.
He killed my brother. What do you expect me to do, mow his lawns?
We're gonna have to take out that prick Diaz before he takes us out. You okay to use a gun?
Sure, I guess. Nice to see you too.
Let's get out of here.
Oh man, even in his time of need, Lance is still getting a bit of an ass-kicking from Tommy. Which I suppose is probably needed at this point, since Lance has kind of foiled some plans behind the scenes. But anyway, we're clearing out Diaz's men as they are swarming us, and they're also dropping a lot of money in case you're into that type of thing. Maybe you want some pocket change for the old strip club. You know, I'm not judging. But, you know, you can go back and grab that stuff if you want, but I'm not overly interested in that. I just want to get the hell on out of this compound. And so we're going to drop Lance off at the hospital, which doesn't seem like the best idea, because we are career criminals, and so that might spark some questions dropping off a bloodied and beaten up man in front of a hospital. So yeah, I don't know about that, especially in a helicopter. But you know, here we are trying to apply some logic to a video game. That's almost always a bad idea there. And speaking of bad ideas, I probably should have taken this approach a bit more cautiously, because those damn controls are all tied to the left analog stick.
Head patched up. Maybe on the bridge to Star Island. Okay?
Okay, I got you.
I guess to add to the craziness of everything, you also have Lance casually strolling up to the hospital with an SMG in his hand. So, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I'm just gonna land this thing. And we have a phone call to take now that this mission is passed, and so let's cut ahead to that.
Tommy, Tomasic Cortez. Look, the French are giving me all kinds of trouble, amigo. Them hypocrites. They spend 100 years stealing from poor countries, and they call me a thief, huh? I'm going to need your help as soon as possible, amigo. So please hurry, huh? Tell me I need you, alright?
So instead of helping Colonel Cortez with his French problem, we're gonna rub one out by doing Ricardo Diaz's final mission in the next part, which is called Rub Out. So until then, I will see you next time.